Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by a former cartographer for FEMA, Vice President of Strategic Research for the San Antonio Spurs, current head analyst for Team USA, the UT professor and New York Times best-selling author of Sprawlball, has a new book out. It's called Hoop Atlas. We welcome Kirk Goldsberry.
What's up, Sean? Thanks for having me on today.
Kirk, let's go beyond the mic. I didn't even get to page one, found something I've been harping on for years. The mid-range jumper was endangered in the NBA, has moved to chunkin' and dunkin'. How has the pro game evolved, and in some cases devolved, from when you first started watching the game?
Yeah, in a word, three-point shooting. And I think when you look at the analytics revolution that was started by Michael Lewis's book Moneyball, which came out in 2003, the NBA sort of had a gradual wake-up call. And that's a big part of what Hoop Atlas is about, Sean, which is like how and who this league was reshaped. And I think we look at, obviously, Stephen Curry, but it goes deeper than that. It goes back to the front offices led by people like Daryl Morey and teams like the San Antonio Spurs in the 2000s, really recognizing the power of the corner three and players like Bruce Bowen. But ultimately, the answer to your question is kind of simple. It's sprawled outwards. If you rewatch games that Jordan dominated in the early 90s, it looks like clowns in sort of a taxi cab, like just a bunch of dudes clustered up in the paint fighting for each other. Contrast that to what we're seeing now, and it's dudes sprawled all over the three-point line. Many offenses have five guys outside the three-point line for most of the possession, and that's how the league has changed.
Teams look at terms like offensive and defensive efficiency on a daily basis. How has analytics helped and hurt basketball from the playground to the NBA?
You know, I think it's helped us use numbers to align what greatness looks like and quantify greatness analytically. And undeniably, we are much better, Sean, at measuring positive impacts of basketball performances with numbers. On the negative side, just like baseball endured, some of that sort of awareness has manifested in shifts that not all of us think are desirable on the baseball diamond or the basketball court. Would you want Warren Buffett to design your living room? No. Does analytics really make things prettier? Does that kind of hedge fund thinking create more attractive products? Not always. And I think a lot of us, myself included, look at the three-pointer and the rise of it as in awe, but also like, I don't really want to watch this many missed threes every night. And I think it's fair to sort of attack this. And I really like your question because there are some undeniable sort of improvements in how we're looking at the game and understanding greatness, but there's also some questions about, is this actually good for the game itself?
Speaking of prettier, you've made plenty of graphics over the years showing all sorts of information. Which one is your favorite, and which one did you have to tweak the most over the years?
I think my favorite is one I call The Game Has Changed, and people can find that on my Instagram or my Twitter, Kirk Goldsberry, but it simply shows the most common 300 shot locations in 2003 in LeBron's rookie season and this year. And it is kind of a perfect epitome of what we've been talking about, Sean. In 2003, when LeBron entered the league, about a third of those popular shot locations were in the mid-range, in those areas between the paint and the three-point line. And looking at 2024, none of them are. None of them all are. The most popular shots in the NBA now are in the paint and beyond the three-point line. And that chart, I think, has resonated with millions of people now because it perfectly encapsulates this metamorphosis. And that's why that same chart, Sean, appears twice in Hoop Atlas, once in the LeBron chapter and once in the introduction, because it's just a perfect epitome of the dominant trend of the 21st century in pro basketball.
Author of Hoop Atlas, Kirk Goldsberry, joins us beyond the mic for the Rocking 8. All this is, Kirk, is 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There's no pressure.
All right, let's do it.
Favorite course at Penn State?
Oh, Geography 321, cartography. That's where I learned to make maps.
Which one basketball stat do you love? And which one do you loathe?
I love net rating. If I only had one number to tell me how a team's doing, it's that one. And which one do I loathe? Field goal percentage, because of the three-point error, has completely ruined that one. Doesn't make much sense when you're evaluating today's players.
Time for one or the other. To help the NBA, Kirk, you either move the three-point line back or do you move to fiber rules?
No, we're going to move back to three-point line. Every other league in the world has done it this century. The one with the best shooters in the world is the one that hasn't. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's time to make the three-point shot a little harder for the best players in the world.
Are you in favor or against the NBA in-season tournament?
Oh, I love it. Any way we can find ways to breathe life into the marathon that is the regular season, let's do it. I think it's a triumph. It's not perfect, but it's been a lot more fun than that time of season. Typically.
Now, where are your seats in Pastime National Park, and can you still order the maps?
Oh, yeah, thegoldenhexagon.com. So thank you for bringing that up, Sean. Yeah, thegoldenhexagon.com. I've made these beautiful maps of baseball diamonds and basketball courts in the style of the National Park Service that highlights some of the great locations we all remember. And my favorite places on the baseball diamond involve the Boston Red Sox, my favorite team. So you'll find places named after David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, and Pedro Martinez. But everybody can find something on there they like.
What's the biggest problem for the LA Lakers?
The front office hasn't done a good job of surrounding the greatest offensive weapon of the post-Jordan era with shooting. LeBron James leads the NBA in history with three-point assists and corner three assists. And when they won it all, they had guys on the edges of the court that could sort of help them take advantage of that. And this last couple of years, they haven't had enough shooting. So like real estate says, I'll paraphrase the real estate agent cliche, but shooting. The Lakers need more role players that could shoot the ball.
So not Darvin Ham's fault.
Heck no. Darvin Ham is just the latest coach to get fired for the shortcomings of the front office he happens to work for.
Time for the hardest question ever. Yes, no, or kinda. Do NBA refs understand what a carry is?
They definitely do, Sean, but the question should be, are they calling it enough? And the answer to that is no. And it's funny when you watch some of these games through the lens of a 40 or 50-year-old set of eyeballs, you're like, I couldn't do that in high school. Why are these guys allowed to do it? Yeah, they turn the ball over pretty heavily in today's game, that's for sure.
You're the executive director for the Center for Leadership and Ethics at UT. Is it ethically fair that the Texas Puff Fund exists in its current form?
No, I don't know. That's not my area of expertise, but I'll trust the university leadership around the state to make the right call there. I'm not getting in trouble on this show.
Time for one big question with author of Hoop Atlas, Kirk Goldsberry, be on the mic. Who are the top 5 NBA players of all time without any recency bias?
Okay, I'm going number 1, Michael Jordan. I'm going number 2, LeBron James. I'm going number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm going number 4, Magic Johnson. And I'm going number 5, the great Bill Russell.
The three-point line should be moved back. Thinks the NBA refs know what a carry is? They'll never call it. And he wants you to read his book, Hoop Atlas. We thank Kirk Goldsberry for taking the time to talk with us today.
Appreciate you, Sean. Hook 'em, horns.
Rack 'em. And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.